Hello, welcome to People at Venture, and I am your host, Chris Boone. I'm so excited today to introduce you to a guy who attends our church. He has an amazing testimony, and his name is Marc. Marc, introduce yourself for a sec.
Yeah, I'm Marc Golden, and I live just down the road, and I work at Children's Hospital as the security manager there, and I did my stint in ministry for about 15 years, and now I minister at a different level in a different way.
Yeah. That's awesome. So knowing your testimony right now, things are crazy. And to a lot of people, it seems like a very, very dark time. 2018, if we were to go back in your history, that seemed like a very dark time to you. And so I would like you to just share your story with me and just walk me through your emotions and things that were happening, hopefully to give people hope through this.
Sure. Yeah. 2018, late summer 2018, I went to work like any other day, but while I was standing there talking to some of my staff, I felt a little weird. Turned around and sat down at my desk, and I had an immediate headache that was beyond any headache I've ever had. I'm like, oh, this is what those migraines are people have and want to go home. I've never had one at that level. I'm like, wow, this is really debilitating. I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I sat there for a little bit, and my admin was saying, are you okay? And she got me some water, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. But about a minute later, I'm like, I'm not okay. Something's seriously wrong. And I looked over one of my officers and I said, you need to get me some help. He's like, what do you mean get you some? I said, you need to call a code right now. So I've literally just called a code on myself, a code blue, medical emergency. The code team rushed down and tried to get my blood pressure, but they couldn't find any blood pressure. I didn't have any pulse on my arm. And they didn't know what to do at that moment. They're like, oh, he's an adult. We're pediatric here at Children's, so we need to transport him immediately. So they rushed me on a gurney right outside, right into an aid car. And at that, the first question I had from the paramedics, where they said, well, what hospital do you like to go to? And I'm like, what's that make a difference? And I didn't know, but at that point I was making a decision for my life. Because little did I know, what I had would have killed me if I went to Harborview, would have killed me if I went to Swedish. I chose UW, which is just down the street. Yeah. I'm like, let's just go there, it's close. What do you do? So I got into the ER in UW, and they, again, thought maybe it was something wrong with my heart, but they couldn't find anything wrong. Nobody could find anything wrong with me, but my blood pressure and everything was so low, something was seriously wrong. They quickly ordered like a sonogram-like thing to come over, and as they were looking across the top of my heart, I could see the screen. It's kind of weird. It's black and white, and you're like, oh, that's what, you kind of seeing organs and stuff. You're like, what is that? And they went above my heart, and there's like this, like a tube-like thing you see, and that's the aorta where the blood comes out. And all of a sudden I see that there's just like this big, long diagonal slash through it. And then as soon as the lady who was taking it said, doctor, look at this. And she looked over, and she's like, picture that. And the whole room changed. And that's when she said, sir, you have a aortic dissection. Wow. And you could die at any second. You could have a stroke because none of the blood is going to your brain right now. Your aorta is dissected in half. The inner wall is split away, and the blood's going down a different path. It's not going to your brain. It's not going to your organs. The wall could split in half at any second and kill you instantly. We would not be able to save you, even though you're here. We have to have emergency open heart surgery to save your life. And they even motioned to that, now. When you hear something like that, you're like, wow, this is pretty crazy here. And the only thing I can say is, can I call my mom? It's like a 12-year-old child again. Yeah. I thought, if I'm going out today, let's call the one woman that brought me in. So a colleague came from work, and so he handed me my phone. I said, Mom, this is what's going on. Need you to come. Love you. 20-second conversation. I turned to the doctor, and she's like, spit out a bunch of numbers of my possibilities of living, and they weren't in the positive for me. Let's just put it that way. They're all pretty in the low end. And even if she said, even if you do survive this surgery we're going to do right now, you may not come out all Marc, meaning you're probably going to have a stroke in the surgery, and it's going to be about a 6-hour surgery or longer. And I said, okay, let's get with it. That's the last thing I said. And it literally lights out. They didn't wheel me to surgery. There was none of the long hallway at the ceiling and that stuff. Yeah. It was just like lights out. And I woke up in the ICU the whole day, 7-8 hours later. And it's funny, when your last thing you remember is said that you may not make it, the first thing you're like, hey, I made it. Yeah. It's funny, and you start checking your hands and toes and start wiggling things. And I look down, I have some scars, obviously, from that day. And I'm like, what now? And why? And from then forward, over the next months, a lot of whys. Why that happened? Why'd you save me, God? I got some parents that nobody can out-pray, so, and they were there for me. But I'm just saying, that moment of recalibrating your whole self, why am I here? And then the weeks forward, as I went home and I was alone at home, and I had some great friends at work that like set up the old meal train online, and people just started like signing up for it. And you think it'd be people you know, but it wasn't people I knew. It was maybe half and half. And I realized that every night at 5 o'clock, somebody would knock on my back door, because that was what the instructions were. Go through his fence, go to his back porch, and knock on his door. And as the days went on and on, I realized that I didn't know half of these people, and I'd open the door and I'd be like, how do I know you? And I'm like, I'm still very messed up physically, so I'm a little loony on drugs, and they're like, oh, I'm a friend of a friend who goes to church with somebody you work with? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Wow. I'm like, I have no idea. They're like, it's chicken and rice. I'm like, thanks, can you come in? I haven't seen a person all day.
Yeah.
It's like, and I just realized that these people they'll never see me again, most likely. They have no reason to give, but they felt like an opportunity to come and stand on my porch. And as the nights grew on, I would find myself sitting on a chair in the kitchen because I didn't want to miss anybody, because it took me a while to get up and get to the door. And some people just left the food and left, and I'm like, no, don't go. I'd like to talk to somebody. And invite some people I'd invite in, and they come in and just, pray for me even, or just, I don't even know who these people are. And every night it's got more and more emotional for me. I felt it. And I just realized that if you can go and stand on somebody's porch that you've never known, you're being attentive to what God can do. And I think in this time right now we're going through, there's some people that need people to stand on their porch. Yeah. Or just do something simple. It's an opportunity. I know it's a hard time for a lot of people, but it's also an opportunity for us to go and serve. It's also an opportunity for us to look for an opportunity to share Christ. I can't even tell. I'm in a workforce in a place that I can't share my faith. But man, lately at work, it's been coming up all over the place. And if they bring it up, well, yeah, I'm going to say something.
Fair game.
Yeah, fair game. And I just think people should start looking at the opportunities. Some of us got a little more toilet paper than others, and maybe a care package to their neighbor. Yeah. Maybe it's a bottle of water and a roll of toilet paper and a note saying, "Hey, I can watch your kids Wednesday and Thursday if you need to go to work. Here's this, here's that. Here's my number if you need." I know we never spoke before. Yeah. That doesn't matter, does it? Mm-mm. These people I never seen before. And I'd close the door, I'd eat their food and cry all evening. Yeah. That's what months on months was like that for me. And it really changed my life and changed my perception of people. Not everybody that came was Christian or had any religious background, but they still served me. Yeah. And I'm like, if they can serve me and it's not even true the focus of their life, well, a Christian faith and a Christian walk should be that focus. Mm-hmm. Well, why are we not? Why are we behind? And so if I'm talking to people out there right now, I'm saying, look for opportunity. This church has plenty of opportunity to serve, and they're going to set up some more stuff where you can serve and whatever. But man, there's some people right next to you that could really use standing on their porch, most likely.
And that's so good. You are working at Children's Hospital, and you get to see like stress all the time. People around you coming in there stressed about their kids, stressed about what's going on. What is like something positive that you would say to them if you could just stop, you're going through your day and you're trying to make sure that the place is safe and secure, which we thank you. But what is one thing like, hey, I wish I could stop and tell this person this. Right. To give them hope.
And it has been a challenge at work as we escalate seems like every other day there's another level of escalation, whether it be restrictions or whatever. And yeah, people are on a little bit heightened, and when we're like that, we do crazy things at times. Yeah. And mostly I'm telling my staff, don't take it personal at this point. But we're going to respond, and you need to be able to be professional, take a deep breath, and just serve them. And I've actually used this illustration of standing on somebody's porch in one of my staff meetings. I'm like, hey, we're all need to stand on somebody's porch. Yeah. We need to serve these people. It's not about your right and wrong and your rule and your policy right now. That is not the point. So my staff, they really have to focus on, I'm just here to serve you. What can I do for you? What's going on? I heard you had some questions about a certain procedure. Let's figure out how we can serve you right now. And it's a different mindset. And so I'm just trying to spread that at work. And for those families that are there and they're struggling, their kids are sick, I mean, there's nobody coming having a good time at Children's anytime, let alone them this time.
Yeah.
And we have to restrict a parent because they have some kind of symptoms. It's all about, it's not forever. We're going to help you, and you're going to help us as a team. We're going to get through this. And I think it's all about that teaming piece. Don't isolate. Connect with those around you. Connect with your church. Connect with your organizations that you work with. Everybody has a connection somewhere. Don't isolate. The more you isolate, the more fear comes in. That's the worst thing you could probably do right now is to isolate. The connection is really important, and we try to really partner with those people that are there, the families are there. They're like families to us, and it's sad sometimes because we see them come with their children. We see them every day. We build relationships, and sometimes those kids pass away, and it's hard to see them go without their child. So we really connected at work with that, and I think that's a great thing to speak of that connection.
And that's awesome. Thank you so much, Mark. As always, we will be doing this twice a week. People at Venture, we're going to be talking to different people each time. Next week, we're going to be talking to people that work from home, and they're going to give you tips and ideas and stuff like that, and it's going to be really cool. And so, like he said, don't isolate. Like, connect with people. Pick up the phone. Call people. See what people need. Help out your neighbor. This is the one time that your neighbors are home for sure, and you can reach out to them, and you can get to know them and be that neighbor that God has called you to be. So thank you, Mark, for your time. Your testimony is super powerful. Go to someone's porch, serve this community. And so thank you. Have a good day.